What's up, everybody? Just want to say good Sunday afternoon. About time for some NFL games. And as far as I know, Tennessee won in a tough environment against a pretty good football team yesterday. So all is right with the world. Coming at you from the Modelo Man Cave. Hope everybody had a good night and ready for a big day of breaking down the film and talking about what happened. J-Mo, welcome in, buddy. How you doing? Uh-oh.
Doing well. Glad to be back home. Incredible game.
Milo is pissed off, J-Mo.
Sounds like it. Protecting the house. Like Mississippi State trying to do us down. They didn't finish it. To me, it was just, last night's game was the opposite of the Georgia game. The Georgia game, we snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat, or however the saying goes.
J-Mo, I think you're spot on, buddy. I don't care how you win football games. Doesn't matter if you win 9-6 in double overtime. What year was that when LSU and Bama played that game that went that way, and then they played a rematch in the national championship game? I don't care if you need a late touchdown at Iowa the way Indiana did yesterday, or if you're Bama and you don't score a point in the second half and Georgia hands you the game on a silver platter yesterday, I don't care. I don't care if you have some botched plays throughout that ball game between muffin punts, dropping passes, all the things that could go wrong. I don't care. Just have more points than the other team at the end of the day. I'd love to win pretty, but none of that's important, especially not in this format that we're now playing football in under these set of rules. Wins are all that matters. I think I said it last night to somebody. We played pretty flawless. I mean, we made some bad defensive calls in the Georgia game, but we played pretty flawless football against Georgia. And they didn't play especially great. And we got an L. And we played really, really mistake-ridden football yesterday, and we got a W. I'll take the bad performance with the W any day. Just my thoughts. We can get into the game further, but that's my initial take is we won the football game, and everything else is white noise.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you got the win. You go into a bye week. You regroup. You're ready to play Arkansas at home. You can't drop that one. I don't think we will, but you can't drop the Arkansas game. And then, yeah, but I just, you come out yesterday, you get a 3-and-out, you feel good. Mississippi State had scored on their opening possession in all 4 games to start the year, just like we had scored in our opening possession in all 4 games. So you come out and you get a 3-and-out, you get ready to get the ball, and you feel good, thinking, okay, go down and punch it in and, quieten this crowd up. And to me, the first coaching decision that I question or malpractice or however you want to say it is, it's been said a lot, especially on message boards in the last, not even 24 hours, but the last 16 hours or whatever it is, that if Boo's on this team, he's on this team, he needs to play. If he's not on this team, kick his ass off and send him packing. If he's on the team, he needs to be out there returning punts. He needs to be out there playing. This whole half in, half out, make a decision. Because Staley being back there and not Boo being back there, and I get Boo has muffed some this year, yes. But Staley's back there on the road in that environment at the beginning of the game when he muffs a punt, and it flips all the momentum right back to Mississippi State.
So ironically about that, and probably ironic's not the right. We overuse ironic in our society, in our English speaking world that we're in, but I use it, and I'm going to continue. Ironically, Boo wasn't out there for any kind of punishment or half in or half out. They put Staley on the field because Boo had some muffs, and they thought Staley was the sure-handed, field the punt, fair catch it, don't try to return it, give us the ball, and the offense will go to work with our scripted start of the ball game, and then he muffs it. Yeah, go ahead.
So that was issue number 1. And then you compound that by, and in the stadium, I didn't hear anything. So people who watched it at home could tell better than me. But the 15-yard unsportsmanlike or personal foul penalty, I guess it was Joseph that picked the running back up and slammed him down. Everybody that I got text from said that on TV you couldn't hear a whistle being blown and that Joseph was just finishing the playoff. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, you can't pick him up and slam him like that, but I mean, I guess that's 2025 football, and I can't stand it. But
it was excessive and unnecessary, and I have zero problem with it being called. Could they have not called it? Probably, but it's one that I feel like he went above and beyond doing something that didn't have to be done.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
If it was Joey, we would have all been ready to fight.
Yeah. If they would have done it to one of our guys, I would have wanted the flag for sure.
Here's my thing, though, in this situation, okay? And this is where we're at with football. And obviously, like I said, 2025 is how many times, though, have we seen that scenario happen and a defender let up to not do that, and then they not blow the whistle, and the guy keeps running because the play's not dead? When if they'd have just picked him up, like, that's my thing.
Yeah, so
like, that's what aggravates me so much as a defensive player. You have no leeway in anything anymore. If you carry out the tackle, pick him up and put him on the ground like you've been taught to play football everybody's entire lives, it's a penalty. But if you also take the chance to say, I better let him go, I better not do this, because if I do, they're going to throw a penalty. I've seen plenty of times where they don't blow the whistle. He lets the defender lets the guy go, and play's not dead. He keeps running.
Yeah, so here's my thought on that, and I get where you're coming from, because there is that one thing. Does he get do they not blow the whistle and then he takes off running for a touchdown? Here's the thing. If you're Joseph's, just keep him wrapped up and just hold on to him and don't let him go until they come in and separate you two, but don't slam him. Or you could have hip dropped and just went to the ground with him and they wouldn't have got him. They got him because the play was over and he lifted him up and threw him. You could have got him to the ground without going to that route, or you could have just held on to him because that little guy wasn't getting away from Joseph's ever. See what I'm saying? It's the act of lifting and throwing when the play was over for all intents and purposes.
I understand that.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Before the flag came out, I immediately said, well, there's personal foul. There's half the distance to the goal. When we had them in second and goal from the 11, we just gave them first and goal at the 5, which is ginormous difference in the team probably getting 7 points or 3 points.
For me, I like defense just as much as I like offense. I like good defense just as much as I like good offense, and it's just
the freaking hit by Colton Hood on number 3 for them when they tried to throw the jet screen where he went jet motion. They tried to screen it to him with the blocker, and Hood got him thigh high. I love that play as much as a 70-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah. They just make it actually incredibly hard to play defense, almost in any sport nowadays. But it's just defenses now are more playing, I don't want to say on their heels, but they're just, how are you supposed to play? You can't hit a quarterback a certain way anymore. You can't tackle somebody a certain way anymore. You can't defend a pass a certain way anymore. We'll get into it even more. But the pass interference they called on Colton Hood late in the game, he didn't do anything.
No, that was a terrible. They had 2 really bad PI calls. The one on Hood and the one on Brazel are terrible calls. And somebody who is not, I was watching somebody this morning who's not a Tennessee fan or a Mississippi State fan. They were an objective person, and they said, here's the thing about it. That's one of those 50-50 hand fighting with the Brazil one. 50-50 hand fighting where both guys could be called, neither guys could be called. But when you're on the road, if they throw the flag, the road team's going to get the penalty 90% of the time in that situation. It happens.
We'll get into this later on too. But just real quick on the Brazil OPI.
Yeah.
From inside the stadium.
Brazel.
From inside the stadium, it did look like it was offensive pass interference from inside the stadium, in my opinion. As soon as he caught the ball and I saw the flag come out, I knew it was going to be OPI.
Yeah.
It did look like he had his hands on him and pushed him out of the way to get inside to get to the ball. And then my phone started blowing up of people were like, "That's not pass interference." And I finally saw the replay late last night, and absolutely egregious. The guy tried to turn his head and he lost his feet and he just fell.
Yep.
And absolutely egregious.
Yeah. Both of them had their hands on each other, and one of them jumped in that point to go catch the football, and the other guy lost his footing and fell down. And the ref from 35 yards away, he's seeing it like you are. I'm assuming 17 pushed the guy in all white. That's what happened, right? That's another thing. Refs throw flags too many times on what they think happened, not on what they see with their own eyes. And that's what I would ask refs to do more of. Throw flags when you see it 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that can't be reviewed.
I think, I have a lot of different takeaways, but the one thing, and I think I text you this during the game, Rusty, is one of the things that I did not expect in that game. I did not expect Mississippi State to be able to run the football against us the way they did. I did not expect them to be able to stop our run the way that they were able to stop our run.
Do you realize? Before you go further, I want to talk about both of those things. One is we actually had a really good yard per carry. We had our running backs ran for 4.7 per carry. Again, we didn't run it enough. The first drive of the second half, we hit the Matthews tunnel or bubble that went big, and then we converted and got down to their 22. We ended up going up 20-17 on that drive, but we got the 1st and 10 just outside the red zone and threw it 3 times. Didn't hand the ball off. I didn't think we were committed enough to the running game for my liking.
Well, didn't we do that? Didn't we do the exact same thing right before halftime? Got into the red zone and threw it 3 straight times, and ended up trying to kick a field goal. And I think
that's the one we missed. Yeah, that you're exactly right. Both times, Josh or Joey one didn't stay committed to the run to say by God, we're Tennessee, and we're gonna pound you. And we didn't run enough outside zone yesterday because Mississippi State has a lot of trouble defending the outside zone the way they play with their linebackers. They stunt and loop a lot and leave the outside zone very susceptible, and we didn't do that enough. Ironically, it's what we scored the touchdown in overtime on was outside zone. And as far as our run defense, I want to let you get back to your point on that. And I have an explanation of why our run defense was the way it was yesterday. But first, I'm going to give you this one thing. Mississippi State's last 8 running plays averaged -1 yards per carry.
They only rushed for 18 in the 4th and overtime combined.
Yeah,
18 total yards. I mean, so we changed something in the game plan going into the 4th quarter because they were gashing us, especially outside the tackle stuff. They were getting outside the tackle, and our safeties or linebackers just weren't getting there to make the tackles. There were a lot of whiffs.
Farouk was coming from his safety position at least 6 times yesterday where he was in a full sprint to go knock the running back out for a 4-yard gain and just ran by him. Somebody's got to talk to him. You got to run, yes, hard to the ball, but you also got to slow down and break down and make a wall to him to make him change his direction. You can't just run at him full speed because all it takes is a little bit of wiggle and you've missed him. There's running to the ball and trying to knock somebody out, which is great. There's also running and making the play to where you make that guy and fill that gap, and then your teammates show up and y'all hold the guy to a 5-yard run as opposed to a 17-yard run.
Yeah.
As far as changing, we absolutely came out yesterday saying we're going to allow Mississippi State to run between the 20s. We're going to play a big shell, which we did for the first 3 quarters. We're going to play with 4 in the box. I don't know how many times you noticed, but we had 4 guys in the box against a 5-man O-line and a running back and a quarterback, and then they had 4 guys outside the hashes, 4 receivers outside the hashes, whether it was a tight end and 3 receivers and 11, whatever. We were playing with 4 in the box, defending their run and allowing them to. And then in the 4th quarter, we said no more of this, and we ended up putting 6 in the box basically the entire 4th quarter. And now that did lead to Hood blowing that assignment on the drive where they tied it with the field goal. They hit the long pass play to get them in field goal range because Hood had, we were in cover 3 and Hood just sat down at 15 yards and let the receiver go deep down his third. But that happened because we had said no more running. We're actually gonna defend you differently now that we're in the fourth quarter, and we're gonna play a heavier box. And once we played the heavier box, they could not run at all on us. So it was really just a numbers game. They really did to us what we've been doing under Heupel until Joe Milton's starting year, and we still did it a good bit that year. And actually, we did it last year. We didn't throw it well enough last year, but we still spread teams wide, made them play with a light box, and we ran it down their throats. They kind of did that to us, although it was more of us saying we're going to allow you that because we feel like if you get to the 20, we can probably stop you. And we made them settle for, I think, 4 field goals. So I thought the defense was perfectly fine. The yardage we gave up was exactly what I would be happy with any day on the road against the offense that is built pretty well. The real problem was we put our defense inside our own 40 3 times.
I think, we saw all game when almost any passing down for Mississippi State passing situation, our D-line was eating their offensive line up. Shapen was getting hit. We had 5 sacks. We were getting to him. We were collapsing the pocket. Even the very last play of the game in overtime, that happened because Dominique Daly completely collapsed the pocket and basically put the offensive guard right in Shapen's lap.
Are you aware we're leading the nation in sacks?
Yes. Yeah, I looked at that this morning. We got, 20 or 21 now, I think, total?
20, I think we're at 20. Yeah, we went in with 15 and we had 5.
5, yeah. Yeah, so, any passing down, we give up a few here and there in our zone, but, our defensive line dominated their offensive line in passing situations. It was just, to your, what you said, to your point, we didn't slow down the run well enough to really, slow down their offense. And then on the flip side, to me, it was more self-inflicted wounds on the offensive side of the football than it was anything.
100%, man.
How different is the game, right, if Matthews catches the damn football and walks into the end zone? How different is the game if the OPI is not called on that deep pass that they call the OPI on? How different is the game? And I get, there are some people out there saying that Aguilar's got to be a little bit more accurate. He's throwing the ball high. That's true. But damn, 2 of those passes hit Miles Kisper right in the hands. You got to catch the ball. And then how different is the game if Staley catches the damn football, or if the running backs out of the backfield catch a football, or there's just so many what ifs to me. We won again.
That's all that matters, man.
The game was a lot closer than I expected or what it should have been because of self-inflicted wounds on our part. And we just didn't play clean. We didn't play clean football. Penalty-wise, defensive-wise, catching the football, we just didn't play clean. And as we started off, that was your typical Heupel shit-the-bed game. We've not even got into the clock management issues. And you still found a way. Last year you were in the exact same situation against Arkansas, and you didn't find a way to finish it off.
Yep.
But last night you found a way to be able to finish the game off. Now, what does that say going forward? Does that say that maybe we're not as good as we thought, or maybe Mississippi State's better than we thought? I don't know what it says overall in the complete outlook. We can point to plenty of examples. Georgia's one of them. And I'm not trying to say that we are Georgia in the last 5 years, but just using this as an example. Georgia's first road SEC game the last 3 years has been ugly, and they've escaped. At Missouri, at Kentucky, this year against us, they've completely won a game they should not have won, and they still went on to have a really good year.
And they lost. And they lost one yesterday. They should have won. They outgained Bama significantly. They ran it down Bama's throat, and they were really bad. And they were really bad in some key situations.
So you won an SEC road game, and it goes back to what we've been saying for a while, that just the portal era, NIL era, just the way college football is nowadays, teams are a lot closer together. I mean, they're a lot closer together than what they have been for a very, very long time. And we're getting further away from just an elite dominating program on a year-to-year basis. I mean, Ohio State was very clear the best team in college football last year. They didn't play like it until the college football playoff.
Yeah, they weren't the best team in college football last year until round 1 of the college football playoffs, and then they were miles better than anybody else.
You like I said, you beat Arkansas. You got to win that game, and then let's go to Tuscaloosa, where under Heupel, which is I'm going to say this because of what I just said about road games. Oddly, under Heupel, we have went to Tuscaloosa and we have played well, and we have been in the game with a chance to win it in the fourth quarter in both instances under Josh Heupel. So win the Arkansas game, go to that Alabama game 5-1. Let's see how that game plays out, and then you turn to the back half of the schedule, and you got at Kentucky, Oklahoma at home, going to be a really big game, and then it comes down to at the end of the year, Florida, Vanderbilt.
Hey, one game at a time. We got bye week in Arkansas, and then that's my thing right now. Is it's a week to week sport as much as it possibly can be now. I mean, it's like the EPL and like the NFL now, man. It's week to week, especially in this league. It's worry about the next one, get through that, and then start over again. The result and the way it went down yesterday and how bad we played and to get the W, that, while no fan enjoys it, was the best case scenario for the way that game went, the result, and what it does for your football team going into a bye week. Because if you blow them out yesterday, you're celebrating during your bye week.
Yeah.
Ari Wasserman and Andy Staples were doing their breakdown or their reaction show last night. And Andy asked Ari to give, and these are two dudes that know their stuff. Ari's been covering college football for USA Today and The Athletic and a bunch of other places for like 17 years. Andy's been all over, and now they're both on 3 guys, and they do a really good job. Andy asked Ari how many teams of the 16 teams, and he put the 16 SEC teams up on the screen, and he had Ari say how many of those teams right there can win the Southeastern Conference Championship this year. And Ari, while I don't think he was wrong, said 10. Or he went, A&M can, Texas can, Georgia can, Bama can still, LSU still can, Ole Miss still can, Tennessee still can, Oklahoma still can, Vandy still can, and has a team that actually could pull it off. They won't, but they could. They're playing football at an elite level. Nobody wants to believe it, but they are. He went through, and the only ones that weren't on there was Kentucky, South Carolina, Florida, Arkansas, I'm missing somebody. There was 6. Auburn.
Oh.
No,
Mississippi State.
nope. Mississippi State could. He said it would.
Mississippi State can't win this conference.
Oh, I know.
They're not gonna win it.
That may have been one Ari didn't have on there.
Yeah, if he didn't, he should have. Auburn can't win it either.
Auburn. He had Auburn as could not. He had Auburn was one of the could nots. Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina. I guess it was Mississippi State probably. Their schedule's freaking brutal. And then Arkansas. The other 10 he had absolutely were still in play.
I'll go and tell you, Oklahoma's not winning this conference either if they don't get.
Yeah.
They have no shot. Even with this year, I think their ceiling is capped. Oklahoma's shit's got to end, man. Their defense is great, but I don't think they could win this conference.
I don't think they can win it even with Mateer with that schedule.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they can. I think their ceiling with them is capped anyway.
Yeah. But
LSU can't either. I'll tell you that. LSU can't win it either.
that's what I'm saying, man. That offense, they ran for 57 yards yesterday.
It's so horrendous.
My God.
Yeah.
So back to the way the game went down, where we're at right now. It ends up being a great day for Josh Heupel when he gets to go back tonight and plan out his next week to 10 days, because he gets to focus on a muff punt and all those other things. J-Mo, the way the game script of the way we wanted to play defense was, we're going to play with a light box, let you run 20 to 20, but we plan on doing this by making you go 3 and out, getting the football, going up 7-0, doing it again, and you're going to abandon the run. And we're going to have 9 sacks because we're going to make you play from behind the way the Colts used to do with Peyton. And they had a defense that couldn't stop the run, but they had the best pass rush in the NFL, and they got you trailing, and you played catch up by throwing, and then they ran away from you. That was the game plan yesterday. We just pissed down our leg with the game plan of we muff a punt to start the game, and then we get a personal foul, and we let them be able to continue running the football on us when our plan was to play with a light box.
Yeah, Rusty, speaking of the first punt return, what was Staley doing kind of like backpedaling?
It was awkward. There's a couple things about that play that bother me. You're at the sideline. You, at worst, let the ball go because it's going to kick out of bounds most likely. Next is catch it. Next is make sure if you do muff it, you muff it out of bounds, like face it towards the sideline. You don't open up your hips back to the field like he did. But mostly you catch it. You're just in the game to catch it. Staley was told to be on the field. You're fair catching this no matter how much space you had. You're just catching the football. But we see muffs all the time. I mean, it happens. It happens way too freaking often. It shouldn't be a thing. I'll tell you what,
But he screwed the next one up, though.
The next one was just as bad because he let it bounce, and it bounced 30 yards. It bounced 30 yards to the 1 yard line because he didn't field it. Yeah. And it was because he muffed the last one. He was scared. In that drive, we hit a pass play to Matthews that almost was going to be a 95-yard touchdown, but we had to punt on that drive. Even though I think we went 60 yards on the drive, but had to punt because we started at the 1 freaking yard line. Had he fielded that ball and we went 60 yards, worst case, we were getting 3 points on that drive. Just.
I mean, the whole thing was sloppy. It was a circus game, man.
Oh.
It's just sloppy, like all over the place, like mistake. There's penalties, like horrific tackling. Don't know how to take angles. Like the whole thing was kind of a joke on both sides. Like, but it was like 30 combined penalties. I mean, the whole thing was a joke. You just be glad you won the coin flip in overtime and you got out there with a win your season.
Actually, we lost the coin toss. We are.
No, I mean, I'm talking literally. Like,
the game.
General, overtime, it's a coin flip regardless.
Oh, yeah.
It's a coin flip.
Damn.
You gave yourself a chance to win, and that's all that really matters.
Yep.
Because I mean, you lose that, your season.
The season is done in September if you don't win that ball game yesterday. But I thought you had segued me into my coin toss thing, which is we are 0-7 on the season on coin tosses. I thought we had won it yesterday, but it turns out Mississippi State won the coin toss and the opening coin toss, and Lebby decided to receive. So 0-7, it seems impossible. We need to hit the coin toss on the rest, I guess. I don't know. That
feels weird that we haven't won a coin toss yet this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you have a 50-50 chance or something.
You have no shot. I mean, it's like walking up the roulette table. If it's black 7 times in a row, think it's going to hit? You bet on it again?
Nope.
The odds are still the same the next time we all heads or tails.
That's right.
It's going to be 50-50. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It doesn't come back to the mean.
It's weird how the first play of overtime is always odd. Like the first play of those drives, how they end up in touchdowns.
So yeah,
Oregon did it last night. We did it.
Yeah. Georgia almost did it to us.
Yep.
Stanford Steve said that's because coaches have a couple things to start overtime with that they've kind of planned out that they want to attack with on that first down, and our first play.
I think it's just a weird thing. The overtime rules suck. Like
they're brutal. We all know. Yeah.
Like it's like because it's not really. I don't know. It's just everything's so much different once you start that overtime. You're like you're going from one end of the field to the other. There's no clock. Like everything's just different.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Everything has a different feel to it. I can see how defenses give up that play. Like,
yeah,
it's smart. I just hate the rules.
Oh no, I hate it. Steve was just saying, like, a lot of coaches now have first play of overtime plays like they have their 2-point conversion plays.
Yeah, they go through those situations.
Yeah.
Like situational practices on generally Thursdays where they go through all that stuff.
And I mean, our first play of overtime against Georgia was perfectly designed to be a 20-yard gain at minimum to have his first and goal at the 5, or Matthews gets in the end zone and it just goes off Matthews' hands. And then we ended up, settling for a field goal. But yeah, it was a crazy fun ball game.
I mean, my biggest takeaway, honestly, is like if Tennessee wants to win, like the defense has issues like outside that defensive line. Like that's what they're going to have to do to win those big games we got left. Like they're going to have to cut because they're going to give up yards. They're going to give up points. You've got to come up. They're going to have to come up with big plays in key situations to get turnovers. Have those havoc plays that can swing a game. Like this isn't some shutdown defense that's going to lock teams down and do what Ohio State does. Like they're going to have to come up with big plays like they did yesterday in key situations.
Yeah,
that's the formula. That's the script.
My thought yesterday was the defense was fantastic. The offense was terrible.
Well,
the defensive line was great. I mean, the linebackers still suck, Rusty. Come on, man. They haven't taken. They don't know how to take angles. They don't tackle worth the shit. Like I can't.
Oh no,
great.
There's a reason. There's a reason Tillman played the whole second half and T-Lander didn't. Spillman.
Yeah, I mean it's awful.
Yeah.
I mean the tackling was so piss poor the first half, especially yesterday. It's driving me crazy.
That was the person who stood out to me was Farouk. Farouk was the one that had a really horrible day tackling. But my point was yesterday, I was fine with the way the defense played. I did not have one bit of problem with what we did defensively. My beef was all offensive. Well, it was the offensive miscues, including the muff punt. Those things just change ball games. I don't mind giving up rushing yardage to a team that wants to try to get you out of playing a deep shell, and us saying no, we're not letting you get behind us. They got behind us one time in the first half, and that's when we went from like a 5-man box to a 4-man box, and we're like, nope, we're not letting you get over the top again. T-Lander, I want that kid to play so well, but Spillman's better than he is now.
Arkansas just fired Sam Pittman, by the way.
Bobby Petrino interim.
Are they naming Bobby the interim?
That's just great. They're going to come in and nail him.
Of course they will. Of course they will, because it's smart to name the interim because they're not going to games. And that way, when they lose, their delusional fan base can't go, hey, let's hire Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, it's true. He did put up 13 points yesterday. With that really, really, really good quarterback, he managed to get 13 points on the board.
Yes, he's
So I thought Joey Aguilar had real quick.
Notre Dame's offense, by the way, I know Arkansas can't play defense, but Notre Dame's offense is a juggernaut, man. If they had that offense last year, oh my God.
They abused.
Like against Miami because it was week 1.
It was good.
As the season goes along, like we're gonna understand like how good he actually did play against that defense, which is really freaking good. Like I don't know if Notre Dame makes playoffs, but man, that offense is freaking good, man.
Lee, I've been saying since the end of the A&M game, Notre Dame was the better team against Miami and A&M.
Yeah, but they lost.
But they lost.
They were the better team that game.
Both nights. But they were 0-2, and everybody's going, how can they still be ranked? And I'm like, because if you watch them play, you still think they're one of the 25 best teams in the country. And if you don't,
They definitely are.
and if you don't think that, you're crazy.
They're screwed because they're like USC losing yesterday killed them.
Yeah, it's true. I still think they're probably going to get in at 10-2. If they can run the table, I think they got a real shot at getting in.
That's true.
But yeah, they Arkansas blitzed off of the linebacker and from the strong safety position the entire ball game, and every time they did, Notre Dame threw hot right where the blitz was. It was a clinic, and the car kid can really play. He's way better. He's way better of a quarterback than Riley Leonard was.
Yeah. They put up 40 points in the first half yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, it was 42 to I think it was 13 at the half. Yeah, 42-13 at the half.
That defense is bad, but that defense, I mean, they're horrible, but they quit yesterday. You can see it. They quit. I mean, they were loafing. They weren't even putting any effort in. They were already bad to begin with. Now they quit.
They were so locked into we're going to try to get the car before he gets to the ball, or we're going to try to get the love before he gets any momentum. And Notre Dame had every answer for it every time they brought pressure. The film is beautiful if you can pull that up, JMO. Just go watch Notre Dame's offensive stuff and just look at where the ball's being thrown and look at where the pressure's coming from. It's just play after play after play after play. Them picking on the blitz.
Now, going back to what Lee said about our defense, which I agree with him, but does it change anything moving forward if the reports from middle of last week are true that McCoy and David Hobbs are expected to be back for Arkansas? Does that change? I mean, to me, I'm not expecting the defense to make some giant leap to what it was last year, but I do think that if both of those guys can come back and play consistently, that it does give the defense a little bit of extra something.
It's got to be. You got to have McCoy from last year. That's my thing is. It can be a lot better if you have a cornerback that is college level Darrell Revis that you can put on an island and just say, go take their best player out of the ball game, and they won't even try to throw to him. That changes you defensively. And I am well aware, and I'm positive McCoy's coming back. We're seeing McCoy on the field, but is he anywhere close to that dude is my real question. If he is, it can change things because you can start loading up against the run much differently. When you're playing Georgia, the dumbass zero blitzes Tim Banks was calling in that ball game, they would have been good calls because you have an All-American out there, not a true freshman. So, but again, it just comes back to we're not going to know until we see him healthy. Hobbs is a nice another piece to add on that line, but the defensive front, I'm not that concerned with. And I'm anxious.
The line's fine.
Yeah.
The line is fine. Like, I mean, I don't know how many it's going to have the advantage in almost every game that it plays. You know, Bama's offensive line, I'm still not totally sold on. Like, I think we can probably wreak some havoc on them. Like, Georgia still can't get pressure on anybody.
They have no speed rushers. Georgia has no speed rushers.
No, they don't.
I don't understand it.
It's such an average defense. I don't know. I think we can get pressure on Bama's offensive line. Like, I'm not sure who we got left that can really block us up front. It's just the back end that I got questions.
Oh, for sure.
But it's pretty bad at times, man. Like, it's seriously just disjointed, and when you're not doing basic stuff like just basic form tackling and taking bad angles, is just going to amplify that shit. But yeah, I'm not worried about the line at all. Like, I think it's going to have an advantage almost every game that we play left. I mean, Oklahoma's offensive line has still got big time issues, like the issues they had last year.
nobody else is playing the Mississippi State style or the Tennessee style or the Ole Miss style that we're on our schedule. Nobody else is using the wide splits, make you declare run versus. So that will help a little bit. I worry about Mateer's legs if he's healthy against us. That's my big fear, and I worry about Florida pulling a rabbit out of their hat.
I mean, Florida does have a good offensive line. Like I do,
yeah,
dudes aren't good. Now they might be checked out. Who knows? But
right.
Mississippi State was bringing in six offensive linemen at times yesterday in the first half. Like they knew from the outset, like they were screwed up front. They had packages where they were bringing in extra offensive linemen to try to block us out.
Yep. And we still, when they did it, they were basically in 12 personnel, and one of the guys was an extra O lineman, and we still wouldn't commit extra bodies. I guess we thought they were trying to bait us into it so they could get singled up out wide on zero. That's all I can think.
Boswell's a player, though, man. Dude, that kid's a really good running back.
He's a stud, man.
Like,
he's a damn load.
Like,
he's
like run right at us, and then his ability to like then kick it outside, like he's good, man.
And he's a load.
Yeah.
And Farouk kept trying to run at him and knock him out, as opposed to just corralling him.
And he kind of runs angry too.
Oh, yeah. That Levy's doing a really, really good job. I think he's going to be okay there, and I didn't think he would, but at this point, I mean, they're gonna probably only win 6 or 7 because their schedule's like Florida, Oklahoma bad, which. How Florida, Oklahoma, Mississippi State have their kind of schedules, and Vandy has their kind of schedules, and us in Texas have our kind of schedules. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and I'm not complaining because I'm Tennessee having a good schedule. I like it, but this year and last year there was so much discrepancy. So I wanted to talk about Aguilar. Throw to Mike Matthews is a dime that needs to be caught. It's a touchdown. He threw for 366. I think. No, we had 466 in offense, and I'm complaining about the offense because situationally we were bad. Overall yardage, we were good. But Joey threw for, I don't know if anybody has it in front of him. Josh, you might know it.
335 yards.
335. He threw for 335. Matthews left a 70-yard touchdown on the drop. And then Brazel's OPI took another 70 yards off of it, too. I mean, he could have flirted with 500 just off of those 2 plays. So he played great. The last drive, the throws he made on that last drive on the 4th down, the 2nd down while he's being tackled that he gets it to Matthews, the 3rd down where he got pressure up the gut because Bishop blew the block on the 3 technique, or no, on the 0 technique, and then he got the ball to Staley. Then Staley fought for the 1st down. Those 3 plays were just massive. But on a couple of the motion the back out of the backfield, just didn't put the ball in the right spot. Those plays could have went for big yards if he would have put the ball in the right place. And the first throw to Kitzelman, it's on Kitzelman. Kitzelman has to catch that ball. The second one, I thought Joey threw it too soon before Kitzelman was out of his break. So I give that one to Joey. There were some others though that Joey would like to have back. He was really, really, really great in several spots. And then he had some moments yesterday that just weren't good enough.
So far, it just seems like every game there are 2 to 3 drives where he's not on point. Like 75% of the game, he's really good.
Yeah.
25% of the game, he's erratic and he's just not hitting the gimmies.
No, for sure. I mean, every quarterback has throws that aren't on. I mean, it's rare that you're going to have a flawless day throwing the football. And again, the throw to Matthews was perfect. The throw to Brazel. Basically, if you throw it in roughly his zip code, it's a great throw to Brazel. There's probably about 5 or 6 he would like to have back. There was a play where we put Staley in the backfield with Starr on a 1st and 10, and then motioned Staley out like on a swing, and threw it to him. Wasn't right on target. We did it. We actually motioned Starr out of the backfield. Same thing on a 3rd and 4 in the 1st quarter, on the drive where we started on our 1-yard line before we had to punt. Starr's going to walk for probably a 1st down, then another 15 yards, and the ball's just not exactly placed right where you want it. There was some of those throws that were just so close. Hey, I got a stat for everybody that it just popped in my head because I was thinking about us throwing it on 1st down as much as we did yesterday and not running the ball enough. Does anybody want to guess how many 1st down run plays LSU called yesterday?
There's only like 3 or something like that.
1.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 2 or 3.
I understand.
They can't run. I mean, they can't run the ball at all. It's wasted downs. Like I know, like you've got to try to commit to it, but it's like futile. Like, I guess Ole Miss's defense, you can't stop anything anyway.
Yeah.
They still can't run it. I mean, it's like 22 times for 50 yards or something. Yeah, the offense is a disaster.
No, I don't understand it. I would never in a million years thought that LSU's offense would not be just slicing and dicing.
Our offensive line sucks.
That's crazy.
They can't block anything up front at all.
Yeah.
Speaking of running backs, can we stop the whole beginning of each half? Bishop gets a series, Starr gets a series, Lewis gets a series. Can we just stop? Because Sark Thomas and Deshaun Bishop need to be getting 95% of the carries on this football team.
It's a no.
Like,
I'm with you, but it's a no.
it's such that you're breaking your own rhythm.
That's it.
Like, you're breaking your own rhythm. You're not allowing Bishop and you're not allowing Stark Thomas to get lathered up to begin either half. Because
I thought Peyton actually ran the ball yesterday. The best he had run it, I thought Peyton ran the ball yesterday. I thought it was his best day of running the football, filling the hole or seeing the hole, feeling the blocks around him. I thought he actually ran it well. But you're right. I think the running game is better when the carries are 70, 20, 10.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm with you, J-Mo, even though I thought Lewis was pretty good. I'm trying to give him his flowers right now. But, yeah, and I think it should be Starr the majority of the time. But even if you told me it was Bishop the majority of the time, I probably wouldn't complain. I just think you need somebody getting – I think somebody in that backfield needs to be getting 20 carries. Because I think when you give a back 20 carries in a ball game, his last 5 are better than his first 5.
Yeah, I agree with that, Rusty. Rusty, I want to pose something. Jordan, I agree with your point, man. But what if Starr or Deshaun get hurt? Knock on wood, they don't. But that's good that Lewis is getting some carries.
Oh, no. You have depth if there's injuries. So that's not an issue. It's just I think you have a better running game when when everybody's not carrying the ball 8 times.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's one thing. J-Mo?
yeah, I'm a you got to let him touch the ball. And I'm not a fan of taking carries away from Bishop and Star Thomas to give them to Lewis. Like, I agree, Lewis did run the ball better yesterday, but he also whiffed pretty bad on the pass block.
He did have a real bad gaff. Yeah.
And
Yeah, he did.
I mean, give me Star Thomas and Deshaun Bishop all game long. There's so many times where we come out and obviously like the opening drive or whatever, you score in 5 plays and 3 of those are passes. And here's Deshaun Bishop touched the ball 2 times, so he's not even gotten into a rhythm yet. Then Star Thomas comes out there, he touches the ball 3 times or 4 times on the second drive. And then you go to the third drive. Here comes Peyton Lewis. And a lot of the time with Peyton Lewis in the game, you're going 3 and out because he's just not getting a lot when he touches the ball. So he gets 2 carries, and you look up, and you're at the end of the first quarter, and Bishop's got 3 carries, 2 carries. Star Thomas has 2, 3 carries. Peyton Lewis has 2 or 3 carries, and nobody's really gotten to a rhythm at all.
No, I'm with you. You're right. So we think about Sampson last year having a crazy amount of carries, and he did. But in 23, we kind of we had Wright, Small, and Sampson all back from 22, and we went pretty Wright heavy in 23, correct? I think Wright probably carried the ball 65 at least % of the snap or of the run plays.
It felt like every game with Wright, he had 8 carries, 10 carries, 12 carries, 100+ yards, averaging 10 yards a carry, and you're like, why'd you not give him the ball 18 times?
Yeah.
Why'd you not give him the ball 20 times? Like, it's just the way we handle outside of last year, just the way we handle some of our running back rotations. So I just don't get it. Like, maybe it's just the old school to me, and maybe they're trying to say wear and tear on the bodies or whatever. You got to get these guys into the game. You got to get them lighted up. You got to get them hit. They got to get into the flow of the game of what the defense is doing. And you're just not allowing either of those running backs to get into the flow.
They're putting more stake into freshness over getting lathered up. It's got to be just a complete. That's how they feel about it. They feel like fresher legs is more important than the whole getting going thing. And I don't think it's the right thing, but I don't think they're changing. I think Lee said the same thing a while back that they're not going to change. And I'm with you. I would be just fine if 9 and 18 carried the ball a ton. You alternated possessions with them. If one of them taps on their helmet, then you can put you can put Peyton in at the end of drives when the other one's like saying I've ran it 6-7 times on this drive, or I've caught it 3 times and ran it 4 or whatever, and I need a breather. But anyway, I don't think it's changing.
It's the only offense position you over rotate. You don't rotate a receiver. You don't rotate that much a tight end. You don't rotate that much on the offensive line. But you rotate like hell with the running backs.
No, for sure. The running back, we don't rotate in drive, but we alternate every drive for sure.
Rusty, it's like going all the way back when Derrick Henry was with Alabama, when he was with the Titans and Ravens, when he's got more carries, he got better.
I always say that most running backs are better the more times you hand them the ball. I actually believe that about Peyton Lewis. I think Peyton Lewis, if he had a game where he had 25 carries, he would be really, really good by the end of it. If he had 25 carries, somewhere around 12 or 13, he would take a long one to the house. But they have their game plan. They have their philosophy. I thought yesterday one thing offensively that surprised me. We almost did none of the offense that we had ran the prior 4 years. our wide splits was and our base offense that we've known until this season when Hyper went out and said, I'm going to change things up and add stuff to my offense, which he's done. He's added a bunch of great stuff to it. But Georgia game, it was a perfect mix of both. Syracuse, perfect mix of both. And then the 2 Cupcake games, it was all the old school stuff, none of the new stuff. And then this week, it was almost entirely new stuff. The wide splits, the choice routes, the spreading you and making you declare. We didn't use any of it yesterday. And I'm guessing it's because Lebby, that's what he does too. And we thought they would have a really good defense if we went to our base stuff. So we're going to use a ton of our new stuff. And I think maybe yesterday getting Mississippi State to spread out and declare would have been a better game plan. But again,
State was using a lot of different formational stuff on defense than they were in their games earlier in the season.
They had a bunch of new stuff yesterday.
Like the way they were lining up their defensive linemen, like there was a lot of different stuff they were putting out there they hadn't shown on film before.
Yep.
So
yep.
I do think Heupel is more comfortable calling a lot of the play action stuff for Aguilar. Like that stuff is just getting wide receivers wide open.
Wide ass open.
Aguilar can hit those layups in his sleep. Like, and I think Heupel is really comfortable sticking with that basic type stuff. Just the run stuff, the play action stuff. Like it's getting guys just wide open. I mean, and Aguilar's not going to miss those.
Nope, you're right. I think you're very, very on point there with the pistol looks and the bunch looks. Joey's really, really comfortable in it, and Heupel's comfortable too. I thought for the run game's sake that the forcing Mississippi State out of their bait. They were playing a ton of 3-3 yesterday, a ton, and they were running stunts and twists out of it, crazy amounts to try to slow down our run game. But you flush yesterday and you take the W and you go to your bye week. That's really what this show probably should have been 10 minutes long. We won the football game. We made a ton of mistakes. I'll take playing pretty. I'll take playing ugly and winning over playing pretty and losing all day, every day.
Yeah, negative, Dave.
I think you mean stupid, Dave.
Yeah, you could say that too.
There's negative, and then there is dumbassery.
All right, so Rusty, you and I haven't talked about this at all. So
yeah.
I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to let you give your spiel. I'm going to listen, and then I'm going to give mine. End of the game situation.
Oh.
Go ahead and give me your thoughts, because I have my thoughts. But I want to listen to yours first.
Can I talk about the end of first half too?
Yeah, either one of them.
I was fixing to bring this up where you said this. Like, I don't even care about a lot of the mistakes. Like, you're going to have football games like that. You can work on cleaning that stuff up. The stuff that bothers me the most yesterday was the coaching stuff.
100%.
Making in game. Like, that's the stuff that bothers me more than anything. It's not just Heupel. This is every coach. Everybody knows I rail on this stuff because it's basic, easy. This stuff shouldn't be issues for college coaches or pro coaches, but it is.
Yep.
I don't know how they continuously screw this stuff up, but they do. And it was really bad yesterday from Heupel. Love the guy, but my God, dude, get your fucking shit together. Sorry, excuse my language.
You're fine, buddy. You're
Like,
fine.
you got to fix it, man. Like, you can't do this. Like, you want to win this league, you want to make playoffs, you got to coach better. You got to handle these games better. You're lucky. He got by yesterday with a win, and I'm glad, but could have easily cost us yesterday.
The end of first half, you let Lebby have the option of going for it by not taking the timeout immediately. That's my big problem with that. If you're wanting to go to the half and just say 17-17 is okay, we're getting the ball, fine. But you gave him more of an option to go for it by letting him run the clock down to where we wouldn't have had a ton of time if they didn't convert the fourth down. Lebby still decided to punt, which I think was the wrong move. But if you call timeout immediately, it basically ties Lebby's hands. He says, I got to punt now. And then you got the ball with a full minute and 2 timeouts, which in 2021, our best team, like 4 times that year, Heupel forced the issue at the end of halves and got 3 points out of it, going to the locker room. So brutal not to use that timeout immediately going into 4th and 3.
There's no way Levy was going to go for that. There was no way Levy was going to go for it. And he didn't take the timeout because he was afraid he would.
Yeah.
He was afraid if I take the timeout, he's going to go for it, and I'm leaving him too much.
Oh, yeah.
When he hands the ball off on 3rd down, he's waving the white flag and saying, I just want to get to halftime.
Yep.
Like, he is not going – but then when you run it off and then once he runs the clock down, then Levy does have the option of going for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Even if he doesn't get it, you've got no time left.
That's what I'm saying. By not calling the timeout, he made it to where Levy could have said, you know what, I'll just go for it, because if I give it to them on the 48, their own 48-yard line, they don't have any clock left. If you call the timeout immediately, you handcuff Levy. He has to punt it. He didn't think that through correctly. The second half, when J-Mo, to end the game, I didn't really have a huge problem with after the first down didn't go great to let some clock run down, because even when the clock run down like it did, you still had plenty of time if you executed everything else correctly. My problem was on 3rd and 1 from like the 48, we hand it off and gain, I think, 5 or 6 yards, get down to the 45. I wanted him to call a timeout immediately right there with, I think, 14 seconds on the clock, because you'd still have one more, and then hand it off again because they're spread out, expecting pass. Go get 7 more yards. You spike it or use your last timeout, and then try to kick a 46, 47-yarder. But Heupel's thought was, we're getting the first down, the clock stops, we're going to snap it as soon as they set the ball, and we're going to gain another 8 yards quick because they're going to be off balance defensively and not set up. And if we call timeout, they're going to be able to set their defense, blah, blah, blah. That's what he's thinking. I didn't like that choice. And Joey actually, it's not Joey's fault. He was put in the wrong situation. I would like to have seen Joey get rid of the ball quicker, but I thought Heupel should have just – my big problem on the last one was Heupel's got to use a timeout after you gain that first down, regardless of what the defense having time to set up or not. You stop the clock, you gather your guys, you talk about scenarios that could go down, you call the right play, you tell Joey the ball needs to be out of your hand in like 3 seconds max. You don't need to scramble. You need to pick somebody, or you need to go through your progressions quickly, go to somebody, or whoever's going deep, throw it to that guy, but make sure it goes out of bounds by like 5 yards and is incomplete. Yeah, I'm heavily with Lee on these coaches need guys that specialize in being in their ear and telling or talking to them scenario wise of what to do. The problem is when you have a head coach who calls all the plays, you can't have somebody talking to him, telling him what to do situationally as the head coach's job, because he's looking at the play sheet, not focusing on the end game stuff. So if you're going to be the head coach that calls the plays, do you just say, you know what, I'm going to have a coach next to me that I'm going to give the in-game situational decision choices. I'm going to let him make those for me because I'm focusing on calling plays. So when it comes to getting that first down, Josh Heupel's not the one decided to call timeout. He's got a coach standing next to him, your special teams coach, whoever you trust the most. That's the person that decides we're calling a timeout or not Josh Heupel. And could a head coach ever be willing to do that?
They should be, but they won't.
Right?
They want to have control over everything. They should be. If they're smart, they would. And a lot of these stats have they got all these analytic positions, and then when it comes down to it, they don't pay them any attention when they need. So this stuff should be basic. Like all this other stuff, and the in-game stuff is flying right over his head.
Yep. He's thinking about, I just picked up a quick first down, and I have them off balance. I'm going to gash them with the next play going fast, which the right thing to do is get a timeout, stop the clock, settle everybody down, talk about we have 14 seconds left. We need to gain 9 more yards. How can we gain 9 more yards with having one timeout and have a second on the clock left to kick a field goal? How can we do that, guys? Let's call this play. And if you call timeout and think and have time to think about that, you probably accomplish it. As a play caller, I'm gonna have the advantage by going fast. So I need to relinquish and give it to somebody to say timeout for my sideline. JMO, I'm ready for your take for sure.
I mean, we're all in agreement. Like, here's my thing with Hop. Because the first.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that real quick? Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Can I? You asked that question. I want to answer it. I think the Big Balls 21 coach said I have a very, very, very limited talented team. So I'm just going to let it all hang out. And now you have a coach saying we have a pretty good roster that's a top 15 national roster that can play with anybody with the way rosters are so spread out and thin now. I'm going to be a more play it close to the vest the way traditional coaches play it. I think that's it. That's my guess. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, here's my thing. Your point was that you weren't upset with the timer coming off the clock. That way it did prevent Mississippi State from getting the ball back and being able to do anything with it. I get it. I understand it. But this is also the same defensive line that anytime Blake Shapen was dropping back, they were taking his head off of his shoulders.
Yep.
Do you think that Mississippi State was going to be handing the football off with 30 seconds to go in the game, trying to get down there and score a touchdown or get down there and quick a field goal? No. They're going to be dropping back, passing the football, which is going to allow Joseph and Tyree West, and Jordan Ross, and Caleb Perry to pin their ears back and get after his ass.
Hey, Gerard Parrish just the great Gerard Parrish, who I adore, just said Heupel also didn't trust the kicker, and I that thought was running through my mind. We took a shot to Staley deep from about the 45, maybe the 50. That if Joey leads Staley, it's a touchdown, or if that's Brazil, it's a catch on the 5. Worst case. I do think there is some truth that that Heupel didn't feel great about sending Max out there again to try to kick a 47-yarder in a tie game to win it, and what it could possibly do to Max's psyche if he misses it. But to your point, an arrogant, cocky, balls to the wall, let it all hang out coach would say, I'm going to give my kicker his swagger back by letting him bury this 48-yarder. Continue.
It just seemed like in 21-22 that Heupel was attack. Like his mindset was always, I'm attacking. Like, we're going to go win this damn football game. And it just seems like the last 2 years, his mindset has switched from, we're not going to lose it. Instead of attack, we're not going to lose it. And it's just, I don't understand. Like, I'm never going to fault the coach. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm ever going to fault a coach for being aggressive to go try to win a football game. Like, to me, that's the mindset, let's go win it. Where I just feel like he's went too conservative. He's just.
I think you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I do believe he felt like in 21-22, the best defense I can possibly put on the field is to score points right here. And now he feels like the best defense I can put on the field is my defense. And that's changed his mindset some. That's all I can think.
But I think he has to realize now that he don't have that defense. That into these games. Like he will just go into a complete shell instead of going out and trying to find out win a football game. Like he shriveled up and was absolutely terrified of his team making a mistake and losing the game and not being in the mindset of we got to go win this. These last 2 years, I feel like last year I can kind of understand it a little bit now that we're looking back at the quarterback situation that we had. I get it. Okay, yeah, you might have been terrified of Nico making a mistake or whatever. Understandable. Now looking back on it, the end of the Georgia game and now the end of the Mississippi State game, I'm just like, man, be more aggressive. Be more aggressive trying to gain yards. Like, we got it down to in the Georgia game, we got it down to the 20, and it's like, all right, then we set on it. Get it to the 15. Get it to the 10. Make the kick easy.
Easy. Yeah, I know.
Don't get it down to the 20 and say, oh, well, we got this. No, keep trying to get as close as you can to make the kick easier and easier and easier. And the same thing in the Mississippi State game. It's like we got it down to the 50 with 24 seconds left. And he's like, all right, if we can just get it to the 35.
Yep.
It's like, no, dude, get it to the 20. Get it to the 50. Make it as easy as possible.
He did try to hit Staley, and it was there. Joey just underthrew it just enough to where the defender can get a fingertip on it. No.
Is anybody wondering why when we stopped them before half, why we didn't call a timeout?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we hit that one. I think that one. I think that one was as bad as the end of game.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that was. Even if you don't do anything on offense, you gave Levy the advantage by letting him run the clock down. That's my problem. It's not smart in the sense that you're allowing the other coach to have more options by letting him milk all the clock off. I did not like any of it. I don't know that he's going to go back to being a balls to the wall guy. And I think now, as I'm older, I would be okay if we lost a game playing to win, going for the jugular, and you get a sack fumble in that situation, or you throw a pick six, lineman tips the ball when you're trying to go win and it gets bounced up in the air and a linebacker catches it and runs it back for a touchdown. Any of those things that could happen when you're playing aggressive, I think now I probably would be okay with it. I know in 2012, when I talk about the play where we tried under Dooley, we turned Florida, or we turned Florida over with a 5-point lead in the third quarter. We try to take a shot, and Bray gets sacked on a perfect blitz call on 1st and 10. And we get knocked out of field goal range, and they take all the momentum and then run off 17 in a row to win the ball game. I lost my mind back then because I was like, that was so stupid. We should have actually just pounded it down their throats, not tried to take the shot play. But that's hindsight. Looking back on that, I have no problem with the being aggressive. But back then I was. So I wonder how much of our fan base would lose their shit if we went to the aggressive approach and it backfired. Because I'm not sure that all of our fan base would be okay if we went aggressive and it backfired. I think a lot of us would, but I know we all read enough of the message boards and the Twitter feed that we see enough people that if it goes wrong, whatever happens, the decision was a bad decision if it doesn't go right.
Rusty, Ronnie was
It is my understanding Ross has a green light to tuck it and run every time we snap it to him. Within reason. I'm sure there's situational times, clock issues late in games, end of halves that they've said just kick it. But generally in the middle of a ball game or in a non-situational scenario and we're punting, it is my understanding he has the green light to run with it if the defense doesn't match up correctly and doesn't peel off and leave space for him to run for the first down easily. I don't know that he'll ever do it, or I don't know if defenses are just playing it right. Clearly, Mississippi State faked that punt because they had saw the guy. I think it was Spillman who bailed out and left it wide open for the tight end to run with the ball and get that first down. Do you think Mississippi State regrets that fake punt? Because
I'm sure they do, because a few plays after, you know what happened.
Not a few. The very next play. I mean, if they punt it to us, they're up 4 punting, and we got to go 80 yards probably to go take the lead. And instead, they fake it, and the next play we're scoring a touchdown. Yeah, football is a freaking weird thing. And Tyree West yesterday was a damn beast. My goodness, Josephs was a beast. Arian Carter was a beast yesterday. He played his ass off. Caleb Herring was a beast, played his ass off. 22 and 15 were pretty bad. I thought Redmond was really good yesterday. Redmond on the overtime play when we had him on 2nd and 11 from the 26, Redmond didn't play that ball well. He tried to go for a pick and allowed the receiver to catch it and get down to the 5-yard line. As opposed to just making the tackle for a 2-yard gain, and then it's going to be 3rd and 9 from the 24. But overall, I thought he was really good. Hood was fantastic. McMurray was fantastic. Boo was fantastic. I didn't see two making any plays that bothered me yesterday, but I need to go. I'll have to go watch when we download the film. As soon as it gets uploaded, it may be a day or two. I understand. But a lot of guys played really well. There's 3 guys that, like, there's 2 for sure that had a pretty brutal outing. And I don't know that I don't know. I mean, I hope 15 can clean his stuff up. I don't know that 22 can do anything about his. And I want so bad for 22 to play good football, but I think there's just limitations there, unfortunately. It's night and day, 13 versus 22 in pursuit, angles, and athleticism to get to the football. It's really not even close. Wouldn't you say so, J-Mo?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. We're still playing Ben Bolton too. So, he's
actually, you know what? I thought Bolton played decent when he was on the field yesterday.
I'll have to go back and see how many snaps he played.
It was less than 10, but he didn't have any gaffes. 22 had gaffes.
Did you see? I know some people don't put a lot of stock into the PFF stuff, but did you see Aguilar's grade for yesterday's game?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to hear.
86.6.
That's good.
Yeah, 90 is all first team All-American number. So 86.6. I think that's a little high because I thought he left a lot of meat on the bone yesterday, but maybe I'm just being critical.
In those situations, like, they don't ding him for Matthews dropping the ball, Kitzelman dropping the ball twice, all the drops on the swing passes. Like, he doesn't get dinged for that. If it hits him in the hands, and I don't want to say if it hits him in the hands, but if it's in their catch radius and it hits him in the hands, like, Aguilar doesn't get dinged for that. The receiver gets dinged for that. So I would say that's probably why it's as high as it is.
Jordan, did he get dinged for those 2 interceptions or no?
That's what he's saying. Both of those hits him in the hand so they wouldn't ding him on.
Yeah, both of those
Gotcha.
kicked him in the hand, so he wouldn't get dinged on that.
I think the second one is on the quarterback, though. That's my opinion is when you throw it that hard and the receiver's not fully out of his break when the ball hits his hands, even that you're asking too much of a tight end to make that catch when it's on him that fast when he's still not got his head all the way around. The first one was clearly on Kitzelman. Matthews is on Matthews. I'm downgrading more on just the incompletions in the ball game where I thought they were there, and if the ball placement was better, they were there was good yardage, first downs to be had, chains keep moving, all that type of stuff. But again, you're right. The last drive of the ball game probably deserves him getting close to an 85 on its own because that was a big boy drive.
He was much better about not throwing off his back foot yesterday than he was in the Georgia game.
Yeah,
Like he was much better. Like I only noticed it only a couple of times.
and what's crazy, Lee? I think he had more pressure yesterday than in the Georgia game.
Yeah, that's what the Georgia game was weird. Like, yeah, he had those big throws. Man, those things can get you in trouble, but he was much. But you could tell they had worked on that. Like that was.
Do you think just the hype around Georgia had some of that because he had a really clean day against Georgia as far as the pocket. But you're right, he was, as the game went on, he was hurrying and not having his feet under him on a bunch of throws. And I just feel like maybe that's the Georgia gets off the bus and they intimidate you thing.
Yeah, I mean that probably had something to do with it. Yeah,
But they're not. That's not that Georgia team has no dynamic pass rushers. They stop the run really well still. You can't run on them that well. You have to stay committed to it against them, and we were okay running the ball, but they stop the run, but they don't get to the quarterback. And they're not going to. Not without blitzing.
yeah. They make adjustments well and get guys lined up in the right place. They can make athletic plays at times, but it's not. It's a very, very pedestrian for the most part. Like DeBoer started it again in the first half.
They had a shitload of missed tackles on plays after the catch yesterday. And like in space, Georgia not making tackles where guys are getting 12 extra yards when they should have been down for a 9-yard completion and it turns into an explosive 20-yard completion. There was a bunch of that. Now, I still think their biggest issue is, and I'd love to play them again, is they just don't get to the quarterback. There was so many times I was like, this is crazy. He's standing back there forever, and Georgia's rushing 4, and none of their guys are disengaging the block at all.
It's not a Kirby Smart defense like they used to have this season.
I still think it's good.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not elite like we've seen it in the past few seasons.
I mean, it's good. It ain't like the difference in Oklahoma's front and Georgia's front is night and day.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
so those are two different animals. So.
Yep. They don't squeeze the pocket and then have one guy off the edge that just flies past whoever your tackle is. They don't have that's the big difference to me is I don't even know how great their secondary was the last 5 years. They were just so ferocious by collapsing the pocket. It didn't matter who was in coverage back there. And that's
They still had some pretty elite dudes back there.
Oh, they did.
Drafted like
Rambo
in the draft that are playing today on Sunday.
But even in 22, when Jalen Carter was out, they gave up yards to teams. When he came back, nothing. until CJ Stroud. So we're heading into a bye week, and then we got Arkansas, and apparently we're going to play against Bobby Petrino. I'm assuming when I get off of here, I'm going to see a ton of neck brace, road rash pictures all over my timeline, and I'm here for it. I would encourage everybody just to sit back and enjoy these next 11 days, and good Lord willing, we see number 3 on the field a week from Saturday, and he's not missing a beat. That would be massive. And if we get 5 back, great too. The other question is, are we going to move Jesse Perry to left guard to right guard, and move the big fella at right guard over to left guard, Mo and Sanders, or are we going to stay with the same starting 5? I feel like we're probably heading to going with Sanders and Perry at left guard. Perry's been fantastic at right tackle, but I think that it may change things. Sanders comes in and they immediately ask him to pull block, and he decapitates somebody. And then Perry was back in the next possession on the final possession of the ball game, but Sanders had a false start, no big deal. He was just as good at right tackle as what Perry was playing when he came in, and I'm guessing Perry makes us better at left guard than what Sham's given us. So yeah, those are the keys right now that matters. Don't worry about Alabama. Don't worry about Oklahoma. All that matters right now is Arkansas, and I'm sure that's all the coaches care about.
One game at a time.
Yep.
And Rusty, I thought David played today.
Yeah, that's what outside the false start, he was really, really good in that series. He did nothing to make you feel uncomfortable about him playing. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah. So I got a question.
Did they I said in the moment, I guess it was about time Aller turned loose of that ball. They waited till they were down 14 to decide to play offense. Did they change anything, or did Oregon go a little bit softer in their defense when they got the 17-3 lead, or was it Penn State decided to open it up and try to be offensive at that point? Was it just,
I mean, I think that they decided to finally start opening it up. I mean, it was just pedestrian play calling. Like, I don't know what Kolenicki's doing, how much influence Franklin has over the play calling, but it didn't look anything like a Kolenicki offense like the first 3 quarters. But yeah, I mean, that's not a good law. I mean, I don't know how he's ever going to win one. He's not going to have one set up better than that was last night for him. I mean, their season's not over.
They're still making the playoffs, right? I mean,
they'll make the playoffs. I mean, it's still a ridiculously good defense. I mean, I didn't really think Aller was the problem last night. I know he had the interception in overtime. I mean, he's just not good enough to elevate them to get to where they want to go. Like, I didn't think he was bad last night. I think he's fine. He's not that dude that's just going to get them to where they want to go.
Joshy, they have Indiana left at home.
Yep.
They don't play Ohio State, right?
Hold on, let me get my fill still.
Yeah, they do play Ohio State.
Yeah, they play Ohio State at Ohio State. They get a bye after Iowa, then they go to Ohio State.
Okay, so they could get 3 losses. I mean, Indiana and Ohio State gets them, they're out. But if they if they go 1-1 in those, they're going 10-2, and they're in the playoffs, not having to play in the Big Ten championship game probably.
Right. It's most likely going to be Oregon and Ohio State in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, you're probably right, and they may win them all except they probably win them all except Ohio State. Hell, they may. Who knows? I still think Penn State's in the playoffs.
Right now. They're not scoring more than 7 points against Ohio State.
True. Yeah, not that.
To be honest, I don't think anybody is. Like, you want to watch some boa constrictor strangulation crap? Go watch that. What Ohio State did yesterday. Like, that's
Washington.
Freaking nasty, man. Like, I don't know how you score on them in the red zone. Like, you have to hit explosives and score them over the top, or you're not going to score on that defense in the red zone. It's insane, man. Like, that's just insane.
Have we ever seen a worse attempt at a fake field goal from a team? That is as badly designed a fake field goal as I've ever seen.
Which one? For
Washington's.
Oh, the Washington. I don't know what that was. Yeah,
The rough and the passer on saying.
Oh, that was bad.
That was horrible.
That was a huge call at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it didn't really start off well for Ohio State, like the turnover early. And, you could see where maybe that could have kept out of game. But, I mean, yeah, that was a terrible, terrible call. There were some awful calls. Wake Forest got massively yesterday, big time, man. How do you not call it? Starting 5, it's the most clear offside you'll ever see in your life, and they don't call it. And if they call it, it's knees.
It's knees. It's the ball game. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty brutal for Wake. It's good for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, I mean, we keep saying they're not losing to Georgia, and they may beat the Georgia game, but hell, they could have a couple more Wake Forest type performances and lose.
They will. This is what Brinky does. Like, as a big favorite, yeah, he'll squander 1 or 2 of these.
Right.
Should have lost yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And then he'll play Georgia really, really good. Yeah, that's just what they do. I mean, yeah, that Ohio State game yesterday was pretty insane. Once they get full trust in Sayin, and I think that kid's really good, then I think they're clearly the best team in the country. Like, I'm just not sure how you beat them with that defense. Like, you got to hope Ryan Day has a super conservative day and just pulls the rails back on his offense, hopefully. But that defense is so good, man. Like,
is Ohio State pretty much the best team this season so far?
I mean, right now I think they are. I mean, you can make an argument for Oregon because that's a hell of a win they got last night on the road in that environment. I mean, that defense played really well. Well, we'll see how Miami progresses. Cristobal find a way to screw them up probably, but that Miami team's ridiculously talented.
All right, we'll get back into breaking down this coming week's ball games. Game day is going to be in Tuscaloosa, so just initial thoughts on that. Does Vandy have any chance of going and getting Alabama in Tuscaloosa?
Of course they do.
I think they do, yeah.
Go back and look at the last 17 games since Womack's taken over DC there. Look at all the games they've gotten lit up on defense. It's all the same type of teams. Like
misdirection.
Against Oklahoma, against Michigan, against Bama last year, against Florida State this year. They're all teams that don't really rely on passing the ball. They're ground attacks, misdirection, and he has no clue how to stop it. He doesn't know where to line his defenders up at. Like, his defenses look lost in those games against those types of offenses. Like, and this Vandy team ain't no damn joke, man. Like, they've added so much to what they were doing last year. Like, changing tempo up at times, like taking deep shots now. Like, I think they got a shot. Until Womack shows me he can slow down that type of offense, I think they got a shot.
Yeah, I do too. I think they do. I think the only thing the Bama's going to be super locked in because of last year. That is the one worry. But I think Vandy can absolutely go play with them. So
Look at
real,
Vandy's next 4 games.
oh
Like if they can go 2-2,
yeah,
they got Bama, then they got I think it's LSU, which
Yep.
is winnable. Then Texas, which I don't know, and then
Ole
there's
Miss.
another.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss. If they go 2-2, then their last 3, it's like Kentucky, somebody else that's winnable, and then us.
Missouri than us.
Kentucky, Missouri, yeah.
We
If they go
talked about
2-2 in these next, if they can go 2-2 in these next 4, then they've got something. Like they have a legit shot.
And against that schedule, 9-3, if that was Bama's schedule and Bama went 9-3, they would be in the playoffs.
Yep.
Now Vandy at that schedule going 9-3, they may not get in.
Yeah, I mean Vandy's up against it. I mean they have to overcome like perception. I mean
Yep.
if any other team was 5-0 doing what they're doing to teams, like
They'd be ranked 5th.
They'd be ranked 5th or 6th in the country.
Yep. So the new AP poll is out. Spoiler: Tennessee is still ranked 15th.
Wow.
Stays in the exact same spot. The new top team, the Ohio State remains the top team. Oregon moves up from 6 to 2. Miami drops a spot to 3. Ole Miss is up 8 spots to number 4. The highest ranked SEC team is now Ole Miss, which is, I don't think, accurate. Oklahoma goes up 2 spots to 5. A&M's up 3 spots to 6. So you have 3 SEC teams at 4, 5, and 6. We all thought that would be Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and A&M to start the year.
Where'd you say Bama was?
I haven't got there yet.
Okay, sorry.
Penn State fell 4 spots to 7, which I think is ludicrous to have lost that ball game on your own field. And I thought they were pretty dominated for 52 minutes of the 60.
So you feel like they should have dropped more?
Yes, I do. I Indiana 8, Texas 9, Alabama is up to 10.
Oh, okay.
Georgia falls all the way to 12.
What do you think about them having Bama over us, Rusty?
Well, I mean, clearly that Florida State team's a juggernaut that Bama lost to, obviously by their performance in Charlottesville and the way they beat those 2 cupcakes. And Florida State did dominate their bye week. So, I mean, Bama's got a really good loss. So, yeah.
They have a really good name.
I don't know how clear the sarcasm is coming through, but
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off.
I'm not really bothered by it. Texas is ahead of Bama. Texas is ahead of Georgia. I don't know that I would. I think if I was going to say, I think Texas should be behind Bama, Georgia, and us. Would be my biggest take on one-loss teams. Even though I think Texas's loss was better than Bama's loss. So I guess maybe I think Tennessee's loss was better than Bama's loss. I think Tennessee's loss was better than Texas's loss. So this is AP voters. We know how it is. None of the polls matter really until week 9.
Doesn't matter until the playoff poll comes
Is that week
9?
Is that week 9? Yeah, week 9. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bama got blew out by Florida State. It wasn't as close as the score. Bama converted a ton of third downs. Bama converted more third downs yesterday against Georgia than anybody has in 30 years. I'm not making that up. That's not hyperbole. They converted more third downs against a Georgia team than anybody has in 30 years.
I mean, as efficient as it gets.
Oh.
Like 13 and 19, something like that.
Yeah.
Why has Kirby had trouble against Alabama since he's been there?
Same reason we've had trouble against Florida. Same reason Kentucky had trouble against us. Some teams,
There's a mental thing.
yeah, some teams just there's a hurdle there that if you don't outplay the other team by a ton, they find a way to beat you. I mean, Kirby shit the bed yesterday. They could have tied the ball game. Bama didn't score a point in the second half. They could have tied the ball game. They were running it down Bama's throat, and they handed off to a backup trainer
On the 4th and 1 play,
on the fourth down play.
Yeah, instead of giving it to the guy that's averaging 9 yards a carry, you give it to Cash Jones. Yeah.
Right. That's
Real
just
good shit.
Cash
Real good
Jones.
shit there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even at least kick the field. If that's your decision, then
kick a field goal. Yes. I would have given it to any one of my other backs on that play, and I think it's an easy first down, probably a touchdown. But if you're going to do that, just take the 3 points and get 24 all, and then you put more pressure on Bama that they're in a tie game at that point. So anyway, it's a mental hurdle, Joshy. Every team's got a team that until you start not just winning games against them, until you start pounding them, they remain in your head. And
Kirby's one win over him was in a national title game.
And he put his foot on their throat in the fourth quarter of that game and left no doubt. Because I think if it would have came down to the final possession, Bama would have found a way to win that ball game, but he knocked them out. And that's to beat the champ. And the champ's not necessarily the team that's got the belt, Joshy, that I'm saying. It's the team that is the team that's your champion that keeps finding a way to always one up you. You got to knock those sons of bitches out. Which is why when we go to Gainesville this year, no matter what the situation is, we can't go down there and play it close to the vest. If we're going to win that ball game in Gainesville, we got to go knock them the F out.
Yeah.
Or it'll end up a loss.
Right. Yeah, guys, I'm going to leave you with this one last question for Lee. Lee, so what did you think about Indiana taking the safety at the end and screwing people who had them at -7?
Vegas knows that's ignorant stuff. Like whoever's tweeting that stuff doesn't know what they're talking about.
Right. So it was my understanding that at kickoff our game went off at 6.5.
I never saw it get down to 6.5. There were 7. It may have.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it didn't, but I never saw it at 6.5.
I think it closed at 7.5.
What did you have it at, Lee?
Once it hit 7, I bought 7 yesterday. Once it hit 7 and pushed, so
Gotcha.
I mean, yeah, that's just again like you got to use the best numbers. Like,
Yeah, get the value.
yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, love y'all much. Go enjoy your Sunday. Some good NFL games on.
Thanks for doing these every Sunday.
You got it, buddy. I enjoy the Sunday during the early window of the NFL doing these right now. It's a good time. Love everybody. GBF&O. Thank you for joining. Everybody have a good rest of your day.
Love you guys.